This is the all-new Able Carry Max EDC, available for the first time in Ripstop Nylon. Let's take a look.
Oh wow, it's already here. What do you think, baby?
I ordered this on February 18 on the last online pre-sale, and it arrived on February 28, so it took just about 10 days. I had to order this because it's so hard to tell online what this looks like. So the Ripstop has been available in the Max version for quite some time now, but it's the first time it's available in the Max EDC, the 26-liter backpack. And of course it's still available in X-Pack, and I really couldn't decide what to get, so I'm actually going to order the X-Pack version next, which I believe is on March 10th, I think is the next order date. Once that arrives, I'll do a comparison video of both of these. But for now, I just wanted to make this quick video, and even if it's totally unscripted, give you just a quick preview of what this looks like in person. And of course, I had to get the all black because I'm all about that stealth mode lately. The Ripstop Nylon has just the square grid pattern on it. The Ripstop sounds a little bit crunchy, but I don't think it's too bad. Of course, the Ripstop version is exactly the same as the X-Pack version in terms of how it's engineered. The only difference is the fabric. I really like that the Ripstop version here has the same fabric on the entirety of the pack, including the bottom, whereas on the X-Pack version, the X-Pack only comes down to about here, and then the bottom of it, as well as the back panel here, is made out of a Cordura. And I like this so much better than both the look and feel of 1000D Cordura, so I'm glad that this is an option. Will this have durability problems? I don't think so. Of course, the Cordura on the X-Pack on the bottom is probably a little bit heavier duty, but I think unless you're throwing this on granite slabs all the time, then you'll probably be okay. And even then, you'll probably still be okay. Very subtle branding here, Able Carry. Very subtle branding here on the back, on the strap. So here is the kind of duffel bag style pocket on the outside. And a lot of people say they like to put clothing or shoes in here. Personally, I see myself stuffing like a jacket in here, rain jacket or a fleece or something like that, while I'm out and about and I just want to stash it and have quick access to it. I could even see this being a place for me to switch lenses out, if I need to do something quickly. It's really a good stash pocket. I think this front duffel compartment might also be a good place for a tablet. Here's an 11-inch iPad Pro for reference. This can even fit a 13-inch laptop. And then on the inside here you have just a little bit of organization. You have the zippered pocket here. Nice soft lining on the inside. You have a loop here if you want to put your keys on that. Another thing I'll say is that the zippers on this are really nice and smooth. Nice one-handed operation. Makes me happy. How about the zipper here? So this zipper is a little bit heavier duty, it appears, than the one on the front, but still nice and smooth. And I also remember hearing at some point that they upgraded the zippers, but they upgraded these to be a little bit more water resistant than they previously were. So I have to put that to the test as well. At least on the zipper for the main compartment and the laptop compartment, it's nice that you can put a lock through here for added security. But if you want to lock any of the other zippers, then you'll have to figure out something for yourself. The main compartment is nice and opens up almost all the way, 95% of the way here. Okay, so for reference, this is a Peak Design camera cube. This is the medium, the small medium size. And this fits perfectly into the bag, as you can see. Goes all the way down to the bottom there, with some nice room to spare. And having this fit nicely was kind of my main requirement for the bag. So I'm happy to see that that works well. And again, this nice clamshell opening gives you full access to the entirety of the camera cube. The side pockets are still accessible. Got good room in there. And a smaller, but still pretty good amount of space here on the other side. course, you have the pocket on the side on the interior here. And then the feature that I really like about this bag on the interior is on the front panel, you have these two zippered pouches. Another key loop inside there. That has a lot of nice space. It goes all the way up to the top there. I'm thinking I'll store a drone remote or drone itself in there. Then you have another one here, which is slightly bigger. This one has a mesh see-through as opposed to this one, which is solid ripstop. And you can see inside you have a pocket for a tablet or a book, something like that. You have a little bit more branding on the inside, nice touch. I think the color choice on the fabric on the interior is really nice. It's light enough that I think it gives enough of a contrast and helps you find things in the pack. There's a pocket on the side that's supposed to be a water bottle pocket, but in reality this goes quite deep here and you could put something else similarly sized here. In fact, let's test something real quick. I'm curious if my Sony 100-400 will fit in here. I think that it might. Oh yeah, that fits nicely in there. Check that out. A little bit of a tight fit with the hood. I think if you didn't have the hood on, then it'd be a lot easier, but that gives you some idea of the capacity. Do note that if you fill this pocket up, then that will impinge on the inside of the bag a little bit. Another key loop. In fact, multiple key loops. You have 1, 2, 3 key loops on the inside there, as well as 1, 2, 3 on this side. And here's a little tag on the inside that says this is in fact Cordura Recore. It's their kind of upcycled material. So this pocket a little bit smaller, but it does go down to the bottom actually. So I hear people complain that you can drop things down here and they go all the way to the bottom, they're hard to retrieve. I don't know. I mean, I think if you have something that small, then put it elsewhere. This one does have the extra pocket on the inside. Now it's not zippered, but it does provide for a sort of shelf. So if you had something small, then maybe you do put it in that one instead of the main pocket. And then it doesn't fall all the way down to the bottom. I think I see this as kind of a quick access pocket. You know, maybe someplace to keep sunglasses is my first thought. Something that doesn't get smashed. This is the key loop that they include, so this is the one where you can remove and place elsewhere on the pack on any of those other key loops that we mentioned. And then coming around to the top, this is a really nice pouch here. So you've got your laptop compartment, a bit of a false bottom so you don't have to worry about your laptop getting smashed into the ground. There is a way to take out the back foam panel if you want to, and then perhaps this becomes a place for other flat items like documents or folders or something like that. I believe you could put a magazine in here. At any rate, you're probably going to leave that panel in there for support and comfort. I believe this will fit up to a 17-inch laptop, I believe it is, and having carried a 17-inch laptop in the past, you know, the big old MacBook pizza box 17-inch, I don't think I'll ever do that again. I doubt that I'll ever go beyond a 13 or 14-inch. But if you have an old pizza box MacBook, then it should work for you. So in the front of the laptop compartment, you have this nice zippered pouch where you can keep smaller items, and you have these stretchy dividers. You have 3 of them. I think that's a good place to store camera batteries, phone chargers, things like that, cables I like to put in there. Any kind of quick access item. Ah yes, I believe it's this pouch on the back panel. So it's fairly well hidden. Perhaps you see the zipper pull hanging out like that. That could be the only tell, but otherwise, pretty well hidden secret pocket. And this goes in pretty deep. In fact, let's give you an idea. That'll fit my 15 Pro Max and then some. Big enough for wallets, passports, things like that. So like they have a card in here. Able Carry, welcome. Welcome aboard. Thanks, Able Carry. You have a hook here. You have a nice grab handle here. You do not have a grab handle on this side, which I don't know why they didn't just add one. I feel like they probably had room for it. On the bottom, you have some nice webbing built in. So this is what they call the A-frame system, where it's supposed to help support the pack and give it structure and load balance. But beyond that, it provides a nice attachment loop for any kind of accessories, like maybe you have a carabiner attached to something. Maybe you want to put some webbing on here, which is probably what I'm going to do. And then you can put a tripod down here. I think that's a pretty good use. Ah, yes, there is a hidden compartment here. It's so hidden that even I couldn't find it. Yeah, there you go. So, very secret place. Very well hidden. Where you can put a wallet or passport or probably an AirTag, something like that. I think that's probably the best place to put it. Now, when it comes to the back panel, I see a lot of people talk about how it's removable, but I haven't actually seen anyone remove it yet, so let's try that. So it's in here pretty tight, and it's quite stiff, so I'll kind of try to bend it in on itself. Try not to knock over the camera in the process. Okay, so you can see this is a little bit shaped, has some curvature to it. I don't know if it was pre-formed like that, or if it's just taken on that form by virtue of being in the pack. But you can kind of see how the pack conforms to your back, so that's kind of nice. But without that back panel in, this still has a significant amount of padding. I'm kind of impressed. In fact, I would say this is kind of the standard of most backpacks without the back panel. And not only is the back panel already padded, but the divider between the laptop compartment and the main compartment is also heavily padded. So I'm not sure that you really need this. And if you do take that out, then you have a whole other sleeve here. Just be mindful that this goes all the way to the bottom. That is, there's no false bottom. So I don't know if I'd put a laptop or tablet in there, but you could certainly fit some documents or magazine. Now, I weighed this foam insert at 3.5 ounces on my postal scale, so by removing it, you can easily save about 0.2 of a pound. And this actually does make the pack noticeably lighter. And if you're going to place a camera cube in the pack anyway, then I'd say that you definitely don't need it. So the other thing I'm really interested in is how comfortable the shoulder straps are. I hear that these are amazing to carry. So there is a sternum strap built into this. I doubt that I'll be using it, we'll see. There's a kind of like a card slot is what they intend it to be used for here. And I really do like that they have this loop here on the straps. So if you've ever tried to use these before, these are shoulder strap pockets that you can attach. With the Able Carry bag, you can attach this through like that, and that'll hold it in place much better. If you wanted to put a capture clip here from Peak Design, I think you could probably do that. You'll be going sideways, but I think that's alright. You have a luggage pass-through here. This foam padding on the back, the actual foam on the back here, this seems really nice. I can't wait to try this on. Alright, time for a little shower test to see how waterproof the bag is. Duffle compartment seems to be pretty dry. Let's check the main compartment. Main compartment has, you can see that main compartment has a lot of water in there. But what's even more confusing is that there's no water getting into the laptop compartment. Alright, these results were really bothering me. Why was this much water getting in the bag, and where was it getting in from? So I dried the bag and tried again. 4 more times, in fact. At first, I thought maybe it's the zipper on the main compartment, because the zippers leave a small gap where they meet, but this just didn't seem right because there was also water at the bottom of the internal tablet sleeve. It wasn't until I took out the back panel foam insert and ran the shower test a 5th time that I discovered water in the foam back panel sleeve itself, and a few drops in the laptop compartment that I hadn't seen before. This meant that the water had to be coming in through the top zipper, seam, or a seam somewhere on the back of the pack. Now it's worth noting that Able Carry doesn't claim the bag is waterproof, but it's good to know just how water resistant it is, in case you find yourself in a torrential downpour, as I often do here in the Pacific Northwest. So as with most other backpacks, if rain is in your forecast, then I'd recommend just bringing along one of these Nylon pack covers to be safe. They're inexpensive, weigh next to nothing, pack small, and will give you a lot of peace of mind. I think if Able Carry just adds some storm flaps on all the zippers and then some better protection on the back panel, then this bag will be pretty stormproof because I couldn't find water coming in anywhere else on the pack. So that's about all I have to say about the Able Carry Max EDC Ripstop backpack at this time, and I hope this video helps you decide if you're going to get this pack. I think that's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next one.